Hey everyone, it's Jen Foster here on Facebook Live. We got a few viewers already, and I have two amazing people with me today. I have Melanie Johnson and Steve Gordon, and we are doing a book launch today. Hey guys. So Steve, we're so happy to have you on, and Melanie and I have done one Facebook Live today, but we're here to do another one, and we're super excited to talk to people about podcasting and book publishing.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. I mean, I'm super excited about the book, and it's such a powerful strategy for businesses, particularly businesses that they sell their expertise and their knowledge. So yeah, this is going to be fantastic.
So Steve, tell them the story of how you became a part of this book.
Yeah, so this is the easiest book I've ever written. Folks, if you're watching this, this is the way to write a book. And I think it's a great illustration for how to orchestrate collaboration with effectively with referral partners. So, if you're ever frustrated by the fact that, you go back before all of the restrictions, when you would go to coffee meetings or the Chamber of Commerce and you'd meet people and they never refer you and they kind of just disappear after that, this is the way to do it. This is the way to do it, particularly now when you can't meet face-to-face with people. So we met, I think I was on your podcast first, is that right?
Yeah.
You guys have a fantastic podcast. And then I said, hey, why don't you come on our podcast? So you came on ours. And I think it was at the end of that we started having a conversation about how we could collaborate, because so much of what we both do is aligned. And we decided to do a joint webinar, which we did, what was that, February, I think?
Yeah.
February or March, early March maybe. So we did a joint webinar. It was great. We did 2 hours of content. You guys presented on all the advantages of having a book, and I talked about how to use a podcast to really create opportunities with new clients using the book and the podcast to promote it. And here we are at the beginning of June, and you guys didn't even tell me you were doing this until it was already done. You took the transcript from that really great webinar. I think we had, 250 people or something on there, and you turned it into this book. Yeah. So without me even touching the keyboard, I now have book number 5 out there, and I understand it's already a bestseller.
It is. Yeah. We want to tell everyone, thank you for the support so far. It's in my town here in Utah, it's only, almost 3:00, but we still have the rest of the day to promote the book, but we've already hit a bestseller on Amazon. We're on 8 bestseller categories so far.
And 11 hot new release lists too.
Yes. So it's super exciting. Amazing. So what does this make you, Steve? How many bestsellers do you have?
This is 2.
2. Awesome. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So what I love about this, I mean, I've done my other books kind of traditionally where I sat at the keyboard and I labored for hours and hours and wrote them the old-fashioned way. This is the way to do it. I see most people in business who know that they need a book to promote themselves get stuck at the writing part, and it just doesn't need to be that way anymore. Yeah. One of my mentors is a guy named Dan Sullivan, and he talks about this concept of who, not how. Anytime you have an idea of something you want to achieve, like writing a book, don't ask how am I going to do that. Ask who can do it for me. And this is the perfect example of that. You guys are a great who when it comes to creating books.
Yes.
Hey, hope you don't mind. We're going to make a book out of this. Is that okay with you? Yeah. And by the way, it's pretty much done. Oh, okay. I guess that's good.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way to do it.
So the power of a podcast, just whether you have your own podcast or you are a guest on a podcast, you just never know what's going to happen and where that's going to lead and the relationship that's going to lead.
Well, and that's just it. I really look at the podcast as a vehicle for creating really great collaborative relationships. And, one of the things that I used to drive me crazy, I used to do 8 to 10 hours a week of old-fashioned networking. And, it it certainly produced results, but not nearly the kind of results you would hope for that sort of time investment. And part of the reason why is you weren't really finding out if the person that you were connecting with knew how to collaborate. But with a podcast, you sort of both show up to perform. You both show up with kind of your whole self, and you're collaborating right there. It's like a practice run for figuring out how you can work together. And it absolutely is transformational in how you build your network out.
And it's really cool too when you think about, we always say you're creating assets. So when you're on, like, you know, when we were on Steve's podcast, then we had that video asset of being interviewed by someone gives us credibility. Him being on our show, vice versa, gives us credibility that we have our own podcast, that, hey, we're taking the initiative, we're out there, we're doing it. So it creates this credibility for you, creates a video asset, and then you can do so many things with that asset by repurposing it, whether it's in a book like we did. You know, man, we could have turned the podcast, you know, if we did a long enough podcast, we could have made the podcast just into a book, or a series of podcasts into a book. You can turn them into social media posts. You can turn them into email content to send to your people. You can create articles from them, blog posts from them. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of what you can do when you have a podcast. And if you turn it into a book, vice versa, you can hand the book to a social media person and say, I want you to create 100 social media posts from this, create 5 articles from this, or an article from each chapter from this. So it really just, by taking that little bit of time. So look at, Steve took 2 hours of his time with us, 2 hours. That was it. And now he has a best-selling book. Like you said, that's it's like a no-brainer, right?
Yeah,
Right.
That's a new record, actually. So I had gotten it down. My first book took 35 days. I would get up at between 4:30 and 5 o'clock in the morning, and I would write until about, I don't know, 6 o'clock. And so over the course of that time, what is that, about 50 hours? It took about 50 hours of writing. So that was the first iteration. Then my next book, I'd gotten a little bit better, and it was a shorter book, and I got it down to 2 8-hour days, 16 hours. And then my third book, I got it down a little bit further to 2 4-hour sessions, about 8 hours.
That's pretty good.
2 hours is, I don't think I can beat that.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
And on top of that, the 2 hours was a webinar. So we ended up getting people that signed up for our exclusive coaching for the 3 of us together. And so we ended up with 10 people that were possible leads for us for our business. So not only we have a webinar that's going to live on and on that we can use and sell it or give it away or use it as a bonus, but then we used it as a lead magnet on top of that. So it was just multiple layers of goodness and yummy stuff that we created all in that whole time.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was just on with folks in one of our group programs where we help them, we kind of guide them on the process of creating a podcast. And one of the members was you know, really asking, like, how do I get beyond price competition? He's running into situations where, you know, people are pricing him, and he's an attorney. You know, you don't think attorneys have price competition, but they have price competition. And, you know, and so what I told him was that for the most part, when we're selling anything complicated, our prospects are not qualified to evaluate what we do. It's one thing if, you know, I'm buying something that's pretty simple. I can figure out, you know, this TV or that TV. But when they're trying to evaluate something that's so complex, and you've spent years and years and you've gotten certified and licensed to do it, your prospects can't do that. So what do they default to? They default to something they can understand. And, you know, it's either going to be, you know, I'm going to look for the person who's got all of the things that make them look really important, like a book, like, you know, media platforms that they own, like a podcast, or, you know, other publications, or they're going to look to price. And so using these tools, it's not just about having the tools, it's the result of them that it really creates for you. It elevates you out of that place of being a commodity.
And people get to know you, right, on an intimate level. Like you say, you know, if you're looking at someone's website and you're just looking at their content, and maybe you talk to them on the phone, versus they could watch hours of you in a podcast, see how you interact, see how your personality is. Do they like you? Do they think you're a good fit? Like, hey, I'd like to hang out with that guy or that girl. Oh, they seem like I would want to do business with them. They really seem like they know what they're doing. So you've elevated yourself to getting this know, like, and trust factor through a book and through your podcast, that they're seeing you in person and interacting with people, as well as the book, they're reading your content and getting that extra detail from them. And I've been telling your story all week, Steve, about having that book on the nightstand. What is it? The guy found it on the nightstand for like a year, didn't even open the book, and then hired you from your book.
Right.
Yeah. And it's amazing how that works. And so one of the things that we've really come to understand, because I published my first book in 2014, so it's been 6 years now. The thing that I've really come to understand is that if you're selling your expertise, there is really no better way to generate a new lead, a new opportunity, than with a book, because it establishes you as an authority. It also puts all of your ideas out there. So everything that you would say to someone to convince them to become a client, you put it in the book. So you can put all the objections and overcome them. You can put all of the questions. One of the things that I love to, in all of our books, usually towards the end, I like to put all of the ways that clients tend to sabotage themselves, because you want people to see themselves in the mirror, and you give them all of this. So if they read that, now you've got a really qualified prospect, but they still might not be ready. So the podcast then comes in and gives you a really easy way to stay in touch with them until they're ready, because you can't control when they're ready.
Right.
And you've got the power of the human voice. They're hearing you, they're getting to know you. You guys have had a podcast for longer than I have, but I've had people come up to me at conferences and recognize me. And, it's almost like you're a little celebrity, and they'll be repeating stories that you shared on the podcast. You're like, wait, I don't even know you. How do you know that? It's really kind of creepy, but at the same time, it's very powerful. It's a way for you to be present with the people you want to do business with for an extended period of time before you are, at a point where, they're ready to do business.
And think of all the places the podcast can go. We always encourage people, which I think you do too, Steve, to do a video podcast. So then even if it's just the voice, right, and it's still in a video with a graphic on there. So you're on these different platforms. So the search engine optimization is showing you in a variety of places. You're on iTunes, you're on Stitcher Radio, you're on Spotify, you're on Alexa, but then you're on YouTube. You can put it in your newsletter every week that you've got the podcast. You can make a graphic. We put it on Pinterest every week. Our podcast is on Pinterest every week. So it's doing it there as well. So all of this is momentum, is putting you in places that you wouldn't normally be. You're having a footprint. You're getting this huge footprint by just creating this one piece of content. It goes in so many places, and you're all of a sudden found everywhere where you might have been obscure and had nothing before.
Right. One of the questions that people always ask me about podcasting is, how long should it be? I think that's I've gotten asked that more than 10 times. And we used to say, 15, 20 minutes drive time, right? Because people drive to work, drive home, or 40 minutes, because then they can drive to half there, half back. But now no one's driving to work, right? We're all working from home, or some people are going back to work. But, a friend of mine was telling me that he listened to a 4-hour show, and it was Joe Rogan's show. And if you've heard, I was just going to say, what's going on with Joe Rogan, he just made over $100 million selling his podcast to Spotify.
Yeah. Now, I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. You're not going to make $100 million.
First, you got to be Joe Rogan before you can have a podcast that sells for $100 million.
Well, and so that's the thing. People think that the way that you're successful with a podcast is you build this big audience of listeners, and that's actually not the way that most people will make money with podcasting.
Right.
You are concerned about the small audience. Who are the 100 people, or the 500 people, or the 1,000 people who you'd like to do business with, and who are already maybe in your world, and this is a way for you to get in front of them. The other way that you do it is you use it to build relationships, like what we've done, and then you've got a book, and so it's really easy to go back to people who have been guests on your podcast. You've built that relationship with them, and say, hey, Jen, Melanie, I know you know a lot of business owners who really struggle with, developing new clients by referral. I wrote this great book in 2014 on that topic. I would love to sit down and brainstorm with both of you, and figure out who in your network would be a great candidate and would benefit from the book. I'd love to give it to them as a gift. And by approaching it that way, you suddenly unlock all of these opportunities that are hidden in your network. That nobody's going to refer you directly because it's too risky. But now you've got this book, you've packaged up all of your expertise in the book, and it's a fantastic way to unlock all the referrals that are kind of sitting there dormant in your network.
Yeah.
I love that strategy. I think that's like, I want to call it the $1 million strategy. Maybe it's the $10 million strategy. Maybe it's just a $10,000 strategy for you, but still just by offering that, look at, the question is always what's in it for them, right? So you're trying to, instead of just saying, hey, can you refer me to somebody? It's like, hey, who can benefit from my knowledge and expertise? I want to share it with them in your network. And so Steve, does the book come from them? Are you giving the book to them to send it, or does it come from you and you say, I'm referring, this XYZ person said that you would enjoy this book and I wanted to give it to you as a gift from the both of us? Walk us through the extra detail in that.
Well, there are a number of ways that you can do it. And so most often what will happen is you'll have an email, maybe you've sort of pre-written an email that a contact of yours could share with people in their network. And it brings people back to a place where they can request the book for free, and they could either request it and have it downloaded, or oftentimes we'll recommend, particularly if your clients are really worth a lot of money to you, in other words, your lifetime value of a client is very high, then you may want to have a place where they can come and easily request a printed copy, and you mail that out. And so you can do it that way. We've got clients that will sit down and have that conversation, and then they will work with their client or their referral partner to get the mailing addresses of the people that are being referred, and then they'll mail them out a physical copy of the book with a little handwritten note sometimes saying, our mutual friend Jen or our mutual friend Melanie, thought you might enjoy this book. In fact, we do that all the time. I was talking yesterday to one of our clients, and he reminded me that's how they became a client, because one of our other clients said, and after I'd had that conversation, you should, here's somebody you should contact. And I sent them in, FedEx copies of actually all of my books. And, a couple of weeks later, we're on a call, and here we are over a year later, and they're still a happy client. So,
Right.
So that's one way. And then, occasionally you'll come across somebody who doesn't want to give up the contact information. And that's totally fine. And you can give them copies of the book to get out. But that's usually the least preferred, because it puts all the work on the other person, and we don't want to burden anybody with any extra work. It's less likely to get done.
Mm-hmm.
That's so
I love that strategy. Giving your book away to your current clients is awesome. And even just giving it away. Like we tell our authors, have copies of your books in your car or with you at all times on the plane, wherever you're going, have at least a copy, because you never know who you're going to run into.
I have this thing I call the book a day habit. Mm-hmm. And every weekday I try and go in our CRM. I look for somebody and just send them a book with a little note, and you'd be amazed at what will happen out of that.
Yeah. And it's that gift. They say, people spend money with you if they spend money with you, they're more likely to spend money with you. But when you send them a gift, I think they're also more likely to become a client as well, because you're saying, hey, I think this can help you, and you're trying to serve them with the content that you have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and that's the power of a book too, is just the giving, right? Like the knowledge that's in the book that we released today, our book that's available today, the podcast Authorized. Yeah. We want to share that with you guys. We want to give you guys the opportunity to create a podcast and create a book so that you can get more leads, you can get more customers, to build your business in this crazy time. I mean, with everything going on right now in 2020, there's so much going on. You need more opportunities, and a book and a podcast are those opportunities that can help you to get more leads, get more clients, and get the things that you need for your business to grow. Absolutely.
I think you're going to see more more people looking for ways like this because conferences are gone, trade shows are gone, at least for a time, right? Maybe for the rest of the year, we don't know.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of the other opportunities that you've had to develop business have gone away. And this is a way that you can do it, you know, from your office, from your home. And, you know, and there are people who can help you put all of that together. So you can certainly take the book and everything that we've outlined in there, you can go do it yourself. But, you know, there is a team standing by at Elite Online Publishing to do your book. There's a team standing by, you know, with our firm to help you do the podcast. And so, and there are lots of other folks out there that could, you know, you could find to maybe help you do it as well. But, you know, you're going to need to pivot. Yeah, we wrote the book on it. Right?
So we're really the experts.
Absolutely. You know, but you're going to have to find something. And whether it's this strategy or some other strategy, you're going to have to find a strategy to continue to develop business as we go through the rest of the year.
Yeah. I want to touch on, again, we were talking about giving the book away. A lot of times authors get caught up in the royalties of the book and the sales of the book. And I'm like, man, dude, don't get caught up in that. It's like, give away as many books as you can. Like you would give away as many business cards as you can. And a book, you know, the size of ours, or a typical size book that Steve, you put out and Jen and I put out, is about maybe 200 pages, 250 pages. So it's going to cost you about maybe $2 or $3. Let's call it $3.50 to give away a book, not counting postage. But if you just hand the book out, I mean, it's a little more than a business card, but if you're selling that high ticket item, would you give away $3.50 to get a client that's worth $5,000, $10,000, $20,000? Of course you would. That's cheap.
Yeah, all day long. Yeah. How many can I do?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, and if mailing a book or writing a note and all that seems daunting, you don't understand, like Amazon does everything for you. It's all print on demand. So if you don't want to take the time to go to FedEx or to have FedEx pick it up from your house, I mean, they have that service, UPS, right? Or even the US Postal Service does it too. But you can just order the book from Amazon and mail it to the customer or the client or the prospective client that you want to send it to.
Right.
And Amazon lets you do a gift receipt. And on that gift receipt, you can type in whatever note you want. And if you want to go the extra mile, you can do a special video. You can record a video on YouTube and have it unlisted so no one can see it but them, and have that URL in that note. So you can say, hey, check out this video I made for you. Enjoy your book, or whatever you want to say on the note. And you'd be surprised how awesome. I mean, we have stories and stories of people that have done that and gotten, you know, thousands of dollars from their clients from doing that. Just personalizing it.
You know, it's so funny. I've been sitting here doing these by hand. I hadn't thought of doing it that way. That's great.
There you
I'm going to take that. See, I learned something here. I'm going to take that idea. Yeah, because you know, when I send one out by hand, I always send it priority mail, you know, here in the US. So by the time you pay for the book and the mailing and all that, it's about $10.50, $11 right now.
Cheaper through Amazon.
You know, probably so.
The whole thing, so one of the tricks that we do is, you know, of course, if you have Amazon Prime, it's 2-day shipping, right? So if you're self-published and you know how to change your price on your book, you can go in and change your price on your book, which can take up to 24 hours, but usually it's only a couple hours. And it changes the price down to the minimum price, or maybe you just want to discount it $5 or something. So you're not paying full price for your own book, right? Even though you're going to make that, I mean, you're going to get that royalty back, but it's a trick we do. So we'll put the price low, and then you go mail out your 10 copies or 1 copy or however many copies you're going to send out to your prospective clients. And then a day later, you put the price back up. And hey, if people buy that book, you know, cheaper, then it's on sale for a day, right?
Yeah.
So just absolutely. Like book a day, just bundle them like one time per month, and you send them all out. You know, I'm going to send out 30 books, and I'm going to do it on the 15th of the month, and I send out my 30, and that covers my whole month, and I've lowered the price and then put it back in.
Well, and Amazon's kind of tricky. So what happens though sometimes is, say your book's $19.95, and then you go and change the price to $7.95 so you can order a bunch of books and 2-day shipping, right, to send to everybody. Yeah. So when you put the price back up, sometimes Amazon says, there was a lot of sales at the lower price. Well, I'm going to put it on sale. So it shows on Amazon that it's on sale instead of the $19.95, it's on sale. And so your book keeps getting sales because it's a lower price, but you actually keep all the royalties because Amazon put it on sale for you. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. All these little tricks I'm learning. So
They offer gift wrap too. Amazon offers gift wrap. So you
They
can
do.
vote and gift wrap.
You can do that too.
Sometimes it's not the best gift wrap. I did send one to myself one time and I was like, that wasn't the best gift wrap.
Sometimes it's like a bag. Yeah, they're trying to be
Like a gift bag.
Yeah.
Like it might not be as fancy as you might want, but
Right.
the job done.
Right. So for sure, you guys, if you don't have a podcast, having a podcast and having it broadcast in all the places that podcasts are broadcast, getting your name out there, getting your voice out there, getting your message out there, and then turning those episodes, I can't talk, episodes into a book. I mean, that's how you're going to get more clients and more leads if you really want to get that done.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So the book is 99 cents today.
For a limited
time. And you've got the link, Jen, I see in the comments there to go get it.
The link up on the comments. It'll be in the comments and on this post. And if you want to get in touch with Steve, you can find him at unstoppableceo.net. And of course, you can find us at Elite Online Publishing. That's always a good place to find us. But I wanted to share my screen really quick before we wrap up and show you on Amazon how awesome all of the help so far from all the sales that we've gotten so far. Right here, we've hit, it says #1 new release. And then if you scroll to the bottom, it shows our #1 new releases. So pretty exciting. We can click on this to see who else is in this category. Awesome. It looks like some awesome books. And also, you can click on our names if you want to see more about us, but we're really excited about this book launch. So go ahead and go check it out on Amazon and get your book.
All right. We'll see you next time. And make sure you get and you can buy gifts for people. So even though you buy the Kindle, you can click on gifts for others and send links to friends. So Steve, that's a good thing for you too. If you want to grab some extra ones to send to your clients as gifts right from Amazon, all they have to do is open the link.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, we'll close out with a quick 15-second book promo video. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Thanks. Have a great week.
Bye. Thanks.